Hello YouTubers, my name is Shrav and this is my video series on OpenGL. So as you know, OpenGL is a graphics computing library. I won't call it a library, it's just a specification, not an exact library. So I would cover pretty much basics of OpenGL, and the first lecture would be how to set it up on a Linux machine. So most of the developers uses Linux machine, and the good thing about it is we don't need any IDE or any specific environment where we can code. We can simply write everything using our terminal window. So so basically first we need some libraries, and the library which we be using for our graphics and drawing pictures on that graphics. So the library would be glfw, which is pretty basic library in OpenGL. So I would be not using any specific IDE like Visual Studio or Atom or any other um, IDE. So pretty much I'll be doing everything from terminal, and I will show you how to configure all the libraries by yourself manually, so you don't need any other IDE to develop or build your libraries. So first of all, I will be downloading the glfw library. So we'll open the browser and go to glfw, and then so pretty much this is the glfw, which is an open source multi-platform library for OpenGL. So this would be I'm using a Linux Ubuntu system, which is 1604. So first of all, you download the glfw library, and pretty much it's cross-platform, so you can run it on a Windows system, Linux, or a Mac system. So first of all, we'll download the glfw library from this download button. I already downloaded it, so I won't do it again. So once you download this library, so I can show you where I downloaded my library. So it'll look something like this. If I have everything on my C++ folder. If you see, so here you will get a zip folder of that library. You just have to unzip it, and for unzipping you just use unzip and the name of the library 3.1.zip, and then if you hit enter, I already did it. Once you hit enter, it will basically give you a folder structure like this, glfw 3.2.1. and if you see that folder, once you have gone through it, you have downloaded, so you see something structure like this. So now here what you have to do is you have to create a folder. So there won't be any build folder inside it, but this build folder I just created. So what you have to do is just create a folder called build. I already done it, so I will not do it again. So for example, I'm just showing it to you, just like if you build a build 2, something like that. And then what you have to do is install a program called CMake, because you'll be using CMake in order to build your binaries or build your libraries in simple terms. So in order to basically install CMake, what you have to do is just type this command, and then I already downloaded it. If I download it again, it will show me it's already been downloaded. So CMake is already a newest version for my Ubuntu, and this is pretty much you need it. And one more thing, in order to basically install this library. I will show you in just a moment. Once you have basically installed CMake and created the build folder, what you have to do is you have to cd into that build folder. Right now it would be empty. In my case, I have installed everything, so it will show some files here, but in your case it will be like a new and fresh folder. So what you have to do is basically follow the documentation on the GLFW website, which I did. If you go to documentation, this is like a whole code which I will be using in my first tutorial in order to create just a window which says hello world. So if you basically see the documentation, there is this simple code, and if you go here, compiling glfw command, yeah. So in our case, I'm not using any Windows or Ming GW64 on a Windows platform. So what I'm using is an Ubuntu system. So if we go here, dev dependencies for Linux and X11, you will see you need a xorg dev package. So in order to get this dev package, I have some pretty much text file which I will show you just a moment. Yeah, so in order to install that dev, so what you have to do is just apt-get install and the name of the dev, xorg dev. I already did it, so but if you just do again, it will be installed. So it says xorg dev is already the newest version on my Ubuntu. So now you go to your glfw and then the folder which you have created, and what you have to do is just type cmake and then ... That means it will call the cmake program and basically build all the libraries which are in the source folder of glfw, and basically you will, once this process is done, and you will see all these files here inside the build folder. And once it's done, you just have to, once these files are there, you just have to type make install, and it will basically install all the dependencies. So once all the dependencies are installed, so basically in Linux you have a basically a default location of where your library is. So if we go to that location, so first we'll go home. I can show you where this location is. It's pretty much similar for all the Ubuntu systems or Linux based system. It's basically installed inside this user local, and what you have to do is I have created a simple program which I got it from the glfw documentation. So this will be the code I would be running, and I will show you how to compile it and run it without any need of any IDE or any system. So I will go to my folder location, so here is the file. Oh, and also in order to see all your files or create your files, what I am using is I'm using a Vim editor. It's basically a text editor. You can use any text editor if you like, whatever you like. So I'm using Vim. So if you guys wanted to know like how to install Vim, just you can search on Google, or you can just do sudo apt-get install Vim, and this will install Vim. And once it's installed, you can basically create any file. So I have created this file, which is nothing but just the code which is given on the glfw website. Now once, in order to run that code, basically you have to first create the object file and then the run executable. And in order to do that, you have to basically tell the compiler, which is your G++ compiler, where the source code or the libraries are located in your system. So if you see, I have listed some commands here. I'll just open another terminal here in order to show. So basically the first command, okay, so it's pretty much a general process. So what you do is, first of all, you need to know where are your packages installed, all those packages installed. So if you type this, I think there is some changes in that. Okay, so now these are all the packages installed on your Ubuntu system. So what we have to do is we have to find which one is glfw and what is the name of it. So what I'll do is I'll use the same command which I used, and the only thing which I do is I use the grep, which basically takes the input from package config and give you. So you can just pretty much type a keyword like glfw, and you will find, okay, this is the name of the package, glfw3. So this is pretty much a general process. You can use it for any C++ library on a Ubuntu system, like how to find where's the what is the name of the package. Once you have the name of the package, you can just go and so this was the command which I used, I guess. It doesn't have the config thing. Okay, so and all the packages on this has some static library. So basically, if you type this command, so okay, this is also a general process. So if you write package dash config dash dash static is for the static libraries, and dash dash libs, till this point everything is same for everything, for every library. And as you have found out, like glfw3 was the name of the package, so you just write glfw3, and then if you hit enter, you will see all those linking libraries, static libraries. So these are the things basically used while you are compiling and running your application. So once this is done, what you have to do is basically include all your folders in the include directory. So I have created this file windows.cpp that has all my C++ code of glf, which creates a hello world window. So in order to compile, I'll just run this script, g++ -i. -i is basically a flag which is used for including the include folder where all your libraries are there. So if you want to see, it's pretty general for all the Linux system that is installed inside the user local and include. So as you can see, I have installed and I have the glfw folder here. So you just have to run this command g++, which is your compiler, dash I, and the location. Then dash C is for is a flag used for compile, and window.cpp is your file name. So once you run that, and now you see you will have a object file here, window.o. Now in order to create your executable file, which you can run and see what the program is doing, so you just have to refer to all the static libraries which you printed out earlier, and these are the libraries which basically are printed out. So I'll just copy and paste all those libraries, and let me copy this, paste it. So now here is your g++ compiler, window.o, the object file name, dash o, and the name of your executable. These are all the files which you find out earlier, like the static libraries which I was talking about. So once you run this command, you will get executable as win. As you can see, the executable is always in green color, and you can run this executable just by // and its name. Once you run this up, you'll see a hello world window. Awesome. So this was just a first tutorial of glfw and OpenGL. So my main aim of this tutorial was to show you guys that you don't have to download any specific IDE or any software uh, that basically you can run and link your libraries and build your program. You can do pretty much everything from your terminal, and the cool thing about is that you don't need any dependencies. You don't have to install anything. You just have to know this basic process of linking the libraries, which I did, and pretty much this is like a general process for most of the libraries. So yeah, so thanks for watching my video, and we'll soon publish more videos, and my next topic would be creating more graphics in this window. Right now it's just a blank window, and so I'll start with some basic shapes and I'll show you how to do it. So thanks for watching, and hit the subscribe button if you like to want to more know about my future videos, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.